Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is a Muslimah reflection. So today, I wanted to discuss polygyny, to or not to, and the thought processes and pros and cons and things of that nature. The reason why I wanted to do this reflection today is because it's something that's really controversial within our melanated communities. And a lot of times within our melanated communities, all we hear is the negativity of polygyny. So I personally wanted to give my reflection because I recently seen a couple of posts in regards to the situation, and then someone said there's a difference between polygamy and polygyny, and and all this kind of stuff. And a lot of sisters like, don't, just it's a lot of controversy. Sisters are being bashed for wanting it, for not wanting it. I mean, it's just a lot of different things going on surrounding it in general. And first and foremost, I want to say, indeed, the reminder benefits the believer, right? So let me remind you that polygyny is not a right for a man. It's actually a privilege, because a right is something that you get without having to do anything. It's a right to be greeted with the greeting of equal greeting, or one even better. It's a right to be treated with kindness and respect. Right? It's a right for your property to be sacred. Your blood is sacred. All those are rights. But that to take on another wife is not a right. It's a privilege for those who meet the criteria. Let's start there first and foremost, men, because y'all read the ayat and because he said you can have one or two or three or four, you miss everything else in between. And you fail to realize, because this right here is finna get real funky. Okay? Because I think it's time. Because I'm tired of y'all on my timeline playing. I'm tired of y'all on my timeline lack thereof. I'm just had enough of it. So I'm just going to speak about it. Take it how you want to take it. What resonates, it resonates. What don't. If you don't like it, I don't care. Truth hurts. Look within yourself. Work on it. Anyway. So that's my point. And women, this is the thing. I don't know about y'all, but I'm starting to realize the more that I tap into self, I understand how we are created, how we're designed, these emotions, these desires, right? Men and women are very similar in regards to characteristics, but we have differences in desires, right? But the characteristics are similar. Desires are different. Man, woman. And I say that to say that some men's desires are equipped to have, or they can handle more than one woman. Others think they can because they read that it's possible, that they're allowed to. And so those are the ones that are greedy and don't practice it correctly, or don't get into it correctly, or don't have the correct thought processes going into it in the beginning. And those are the ones that when you ask them, so bro, why do you want to practice polygyny? What is it about polygyny that, and the famous line, it's sooner. They can't tell you nothing else besides that it's sooner. But they can't elaborate on what the sooner is and what's the purpose of the sooner. And I ain't gonna share it with you. If you don't know already by now, I suggest you go learn. That's the point. It's obligatory upon every muhalaf to seek knowledge. Fard ein, it's obligatory. So if you don't know, then I suggest you find out, because this video ain't for that purpose. Moving on. Okay, I want to say this on some real stuff. I got two girlfriends, right? Two companions. One is for polygyny and one is not. Now, when I first entered into Islam, I was the one that was not for it. Now, I wasn't going around bashing people that were for it. I've always been a person to each his own. You do what you do. You do what's best for you, because can't nobody make you happy but you, right? And that's the problem. You're always trying to find happiness elsewhere, but that's a whole nother topic. But I want to say this. At first, I was just like, no. I don't want to share. I want my all to myself. You know what I'm saying? The typical woman desires, right? This is the desire of women typically, right? This is before you start to learn your essence and who you are, right? And this is what I say. Because at the end of the day, desires are desires, right? And some get fulfilled and some do not. So I was like, no, I was never that type of person. I'm like, and then I started to learn. And I'm like, okay, it still ain't for me, but I respect it even more now that I've learned the history and the reasoning and I understand the purpose behind it, right? The real purpose, which is not to fulfill desires. Fleshly anyway. But anyways, and so as I started to grow on my pathway, I started to open up a little bit more. I started talking to different people, being involved in different circles and getting different perspectives and insights. And man, have I seen some horror stories, but I've also seen the beauty in polygyny as well. And we don't speak enough about the beauty. A side note, I find this funny that the melanated community is the only ones to be talking about this like that. If you pay attention, you don't see the Hispanic Muslims, you don't see the Middle Eastern Muslims, you don't really see them really practicing polygyny like that. You don't see them walking around with a bunch of wives, and you don't see their men showboating, you don't see their women talking about the negativities of polygyny or the positive. You don't see them displaying all this negativity about their culture for social media to see. Why are we the only people doing that? We making jokes about wives, and I mean, we do the most. We are the most creative, and we do the most. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta find a balance in that. Find a balance in that. But anyway, like I was saying, I was totally not for me. But as I started to grow and understand the purpose of it, I'm like, okay, maybe not too bad. But then I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I can't speak for every woman, but some women, as we get older, we start to understand the benefits of our husbands having another wife. Because y'all be getting on our nerves. And I don't gotta be bothered with you all the time. I don't have to have that stress of being that helpmate, because I'm designed to help you with your vision, your goals, and your purpose. I'm designed to make the load of this dunya light for you. That is the purpose of the helpmate. And sometimes your vision is so big that you need more than one to help you fulfill that purpose. I get that now. Before, I didn't understand that. I was just like, shit, I ain't sharing my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's mine. You know how we are. We will possessors. Especially, listen here. This is me. I'm gonna be real. Especially when you know it's real. Especially when you feel when it's right. You know, ladies, when you get the, you be like, ding. I ain't sharing, right? Exactly. We all know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna keep it PG-13, but y'all can imagine what I'm saying here. We're all adults, okay? So then you don't want to share, but then that's us. But let me speak to my ladies for just a second. Think about this. You got a brother, a good brother, right? Good brother, hardworking brother, willing to fulfill the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It ain't necessarily about your rights. It's about the fact that he's wanting to fulfill the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the best of his command. He's able to provide for you, maintain, and protect you. The only thing is that you may have to share him. You have to outweigh things. Check this out. So you have this beautiful man, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? He seems like that he understands the true purpose of polygyny. Then you got these other brothers that are out here, sis, that want you to do 50-50. They expect you to pay half of the rent, half of this, half of that. And it's not necessarily about the finances here. I'm not a materialistic person. So in me mentioning this, it's deeper than Nino Brown. So for those of you who can tap into your deeper self, then you would have an understanding. For those of you who not, I will try my best to explain it in the most layman's way I can possibly do. Okay? But this is the thing. You got to outweigh your pros and cons. You have a man that's able to provide, maintain, and protect following the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he will do his best not to try to oppress you. Now, is it going to be hard? Yes. Why is it going to be hard? Because he's battling 2 women or more than 2 women, however, because he can have up to 4, right? He can have 4. So, but and you know us women, we gotta calm down, y'all. We be overly emotional, man. We be doing the most, but our person, we do the most for it, like literally all over the time. Like the crazy switch gets to be activated a lot of times. So we gotta learn how to check our crazy switch, too. You know what I'm saying? We gotta learn to really truly embody and not just mimic or parrot the words of what I want for myself. I truly want for my brother and my sister. I said it backwards, but whatever. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we really have to start embodying that and understanding what that means. And in doing that, you would understand, like, okay, I have to understand that my person is everything that I need for me, but he's also everything for someone else. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it that way. Some of y'all men are designed not so well, right? And that's not because you can't do it. It's just because some of y'all haven't tapped into your inner self, right? You have not yet released the toxicity within you in order to be able to see clearly the true purpose and vision, right? So that's why a lot of y'all men don't do it right. That's why a lot of y'all men have side chicks. That's why a lot of y'all men run around here loving, doing one way and another, because you have not tapped into your true essence of yourself. And in doing so, you also embody your femininity, men, because you have that as well. And in learning how to embody your femininity, when you're 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, however, when it's not their day and they're in their moment and they're in their emotions, because you have worked on inner self, you are able to tap into those emotions and connect with her to reassure her. Now, ladies, don't be overboard with it. Don't be overboard with it. Like, you got to understand that this man is out here fighting the dunya. And your sole purpose and your sole job is to be his helpmate, not a stressed person. You're not supposed to. It's going to be times where you may stress him, and it's not intentional, because your emotions and how you feel could be stressful to him, because maybe he's trying so hard and he's lacking and he feels less thereof. That's when you are supposed to give him reassurance, even though you may not have all of it. Y'all, we got to figure this out, y'all. I'm sorry. We gotta start tapping into selves and looking within selves, because we be out here with this flesh stuff and these surfacely thought processes that we don't understand the bigger picture here. So I'm gonna say this. I know I've been rambling, but this is what I feel like now that I have tapped into my essence. I understand the benefits of polygyny. But I want to say this. As a woman, we have to be cautious. You have to be mindful. You know what I'm saying? Like, and in no shape or form or fashion should you ever give up your rights to participate in polygyny or be married, period, or just to be Muslim at all, because these are things that are ordained by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we are to be reminders and to be gentle reminders, because it's hard trying to juggle 2 people. It's really hard, especially 2 strong, emotional women who are tapped into their essence. Baby, you know what I'm saying? Like, the man be like, okay. So sometimes you gotta make it easier for him. We can't be making things hard for the good men. I feel like a lot of us make things hard for the good ones. And then we out here running behind these no good, ain't got a pot to piss in ass niggas. I'm sorry, but that's just the truth. We running behind these niggas that ain't even, they don't even match our fly. But because they speak that good game, we fall for that. We gotta stop doing that. Ladies, we gotta stop falling for what we hear and fall for what we see. You know what I'm saying? Because what we hear is a delusion to our hearts. Be mindful of that. And I'm gonna leave y'all with a couple of things. At the end of the day, y'all, polygyny is not a bad thing. You make it bad. You make it bad because, men, y'all practicing it for the wrong things. You don't even know the true purpose is beyond just being sunnah. Okay? Men, be mindful when you are practicing it. You ain't got to sneak. Don't have no side chicks. Don't lie. Don't keep secrets from your person. And at the same time, what you do with your other person ain't your other person's business. You got to learn. Ain't no pillow talking about me over there. And vice versa. Right? And you just gotta understand, learn the balance between the two. Like you know what I'm saying? Because a woman's gonna tell you what she likes, what she desires, what she wants. It's up to you to listen and follow through with that. So you have to be able to figure that out and balance it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta learn to balance, because it ain't my job to tell you how to balance, because you the one wanted to, or three or four. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did tell you that if you're not going to be able to be just between them all, then one is best. He also told you and reminded you in that same surah, Anisa, that it's going to be very difficult for you, that you're probably not going to be able to do it. So that's why majority of you men fail at polygyny, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told you your nature, your desires, but you ain't hearing them though. He gave you something, and that's all you saw was the benefits. You didn't see nothing that comes in between, or what you have to, the hurdles. But that's your logic, But here I am emotionally thinking, right? And I'm just like, what a trick that is. Maybe that's just me. Women, I'm going to leave you with this. If you don't like polygyny and you don't want it, that is okay. Don't shame anybody for it, because to each his own. And if you don't understand it, then that's okay too. But it's designed to benefit you, to make sure that you are provided for, maintain and protect, more than just financially. You understand what I'm saying? Because he should be there for you, emotional support and everything else like that. That person should be your person to ease your life and make you want to blossom your flower is a better way to say that. And if he's not doing that for you, then it just ain't for you, right? But I want to say this. If you are involved in polygyny and you're starting to feel some type of way, or you feel like your husband is this and that and he's not doing that, and you start to get those typical woman emotions that come up, sis, remember the wives of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, our mothers, the believers, should I say? Remember those women. Aisha, she was jealous of Khadija, right? But it was a healthy type of jealousy, and it's understandable. So it's okay, but don't allow those emotions to cloud the vision and the purpose of what's going on here. And that's what I'm going to leave you with. So at the end of the day, if it ain't for you, it ain't for you. And at the end of the day, melanated people, stop out here bringing this dunya crap, these sad chicks and all this kind of crap, into something that's beautifully designed. Because it really ain't for the men, it's for the women. Y'all crazy as hell.